Miles Lewis Skelly, Arsenal exit dilemma has gone ahead to arise. Now, before we went to the Community Shield, there were rumors that the player has been offered to Man United. Now, after his spectacular exhibition at what we call the Community Shield, many came out and said there is no way Arsenal can sell the player. Now, a Manchester United correspondent that is being briefed by the club, known as Laurie Whitwell, has come up and told us that after the Community Shield, the team offered this guy to the club of Man United. Now, the senior journalist on him, David Austin, came in through and also dropped a big hint about Miles Lewis Skelly being offered to Man United and Chelsea. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name and hope you guys are really having fun. As we speak right about now, we've gone ahead to hit 30,600 subscribers and congratulations to everyone. We want to now go to 30,700, right? So let's obviously show ourselves love and let's pump it up to see to it that it goes to where we want to be in here onto the Rokani Media Football. I tell you what, we are going to build one of the biggest communities and you guys will be here and like, I remember the days when we had 1,000, 10,000, 20, 30, and now we are having 1 million. I tell you, we will get that golden it's called plaque card or that golden award from a side known as YouTube. It will come, I tell you, because I see the response nowadays. It's really so encouraging and really very, very, very promising. So guys, do the needful and subscribe to this channel to see to it that we really get the best of the best. Now, we have a story coming in through from Fabrizio Romano. Matteo Ruggeri and Zion Suzuki have been announced as players for Aston Villa, strengthening up a little bit. After Arsenal getting Konsa from Aston Villa, they've gone ahead to obviously get into more. Now, Palhinha to Aston Villa obviously looks like it's off, and we're obviously going to let you know who is the new suitor looking out to sign a guy known as to sign a guy known as who? Known as Palhinha. Let's see close to 300 likes smash on this video. Now, Laurie Whitwell, a United correspondent for the Athletic, one of the most credible, I repeat, one of the most credible media outlets, has come out and told us the following, that Manchester United have been offered the chance to sign Miles Lewis Skelly through intermediaries, and although a deal would appear complicated, his performance in the Community Shield is not necessarily thought to be the end of the matter. The player himself wants to stay at Arsenal. Now, Miles Lewis Skelly wants to stay at the club known as Arsenal. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He wants to be kept here. He wants to make history at a club known as Arsenal. You understand? Now, because he wants to make history, the player has been offered to Manchester United, but the player wants to stay at Arsenal through intermediaries. And it is said, however much went ahead, obviously put out a very brilliant performance at the Community Shield, Miles Lewis Skelly is still being offered to the club known as Man United, although, albeit, he wants to stay at the club of Arsenal. And why I love this spirit about him is that he's like, I want to stay at Arsenal. What does it mean? It means that he's ready to fight to get into the starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. He's ready to surpass Declan Rice, Guimaraes, Zubimendi, and Mikel Merino. And if he still believes he can really beat them, obviously, who says no? Who says no? And for that self-belief that Miles Lewis Skelly really has in him, I give him a 5-finger salute. I tell you, I've gone ahead to do this story at the United Matters channel, and I was giving my views as a Manchester United supporter. And I brought this in a perspective for the club of Manchester United, right? Now here, I'm bringing you news in the perspective of Arsenal and the perspective of the player. You understand? Now, if the player has raised up his hand and said that, I don't want to leave the club of Arsenal, that means that he 100% believes that he can hit levels ahead of players like Declan Rice, Bruno Guimaraes, and Zubimendi plus Mikel Merino. And I tell you, that is a clear-cut communication. That's a clear-cut communication that he's willing to sacrifice 1 or 2 seasons at Arsenal to see to it that he fights for his position. That is it. And that is brave of Skelly. That is brave of Miles Lewis Skelly. I tell you, it's brave of him. That is it. It's brave of him. And I respect him for that. For him doing that, it really speaks volumes that indeed he's a warrior. He's a soldier ready for war. And he's like, they might win the battle. Rice, Zubimendi, Mikel Merino, and Bruno Guimaraes might have gone ahead to win the battle, but they haven't gone ahead to win the war. Brave boy, I tell you. Brave teenager. And having such a heart at the age of 19 shows you that he's a fighter, and every other day he keeps fighting. Though, we all note it that by the time it reached January this year, he was pushing to leave the club of Arsenal. That is it. But when he went ahead to obviously getting some playing time in the final quarter of the season, Skelly came up and really played very good. And I think this is when this belief went in him that indeed he can do the job. But we wait. Because I do believe that when Declan Rice hits form, same to Zubimendi, same to Guimaraes, same to Mikel Merino, I think Miles Lewis Skelly is fourth fiddle. And he stands to prove me wrong on what I've gone ahead to say. And I'm not saying that what I'm saying is the ultimate end of the truth. What I'm telling you is something that you can't come up and obviously say it is the ultimate end. But I do believe that it will obviously give us the best of the best on what we think is right and what is wrong, right? And on the other side, I've told you, I respect him for being brave. What he's doing is for brave people, because there are teams outside there where he can go and obviously play football. And regularly, his levels, to obviously go to where he wants them to be, he needs to play in a lot of football at this particular age. And in the video I did onto my Luganda, my other channel where I speak my local language, I told people that when you look at Lionel Messi, Ronaldo, Cristiano, at the age of 18, they were playing almost every game. By the time they clocked 21, they had gotten in 3 solid seasons of regular football. And guess what happened to them? They went ahead to obviously do the needful, and they turned what they are into. Erling Haaland, at the age of 15 at Molde, was playing every game. You know what he has gone ahead to turn into. Look at a player known as Jude Bellingham, at the age of 15 at Birmingham, playing every game. Go to Borussia Dortmund, age of 18, signs for Real Madrid. And at age of 21, he's talked about as one of the best midfielders in the world. We go to another player. Who else? There are many. There are many. You know, look at Elliot. Imagine if at all Elliott was not at Newcastle and he was at a club where he was playing regularly. I think would have gone ahead to obviously turn into the monster he's going to turn into while at Nottingham at the age of 21. Skelly sparing 2 years at the club of Arsenal, 2 more seasons at the club of Arsenal, would cause havoc to his career, I tell you. Though, that doesn't limit him into breaking his ceiling. Now, he still has a contract until 2030 with the club of Arsenal. What does that mean? It means that Miles Lewis Skelly is can sacrifice 2 seasons, and at the age of 21, if he's not played in, he's like, let me leave. That is it. And Arsenal went ahead to obviously show that they don't trust him. And I don't know whether he really understands it. Because if Arsenal trusted Miles Lewis Skelly, they wouldn't have gone ahead to go in for Bruno Guimaraes. They would have gone ahead to say, we have Lewis Skelly, Zubimendi, Mikel Merino, and Declan Rice. Period. That's enough. Or they would have gone ahead to bring in a player who is going to be a little bit below him. But they went ahead to bring in a player who is really ahead of him. So it's like he's not trusted. And this player gets straight into the team, meaning that Miles Lewis Skelly is obviously going to be playing off the bench. That is it. Because you cannot tell me that Declan Rice is obviously going to be seated there and is like, please, I'm not going to start. Sorry. Okay, I'm not going to start. He will obviously tell the manager, why haven't I gone ahead to start? Why is Miles Lewis Skelly starting ahead of me? You understand? Now, David Austin has told us the following about the deal of Lewis Skelly to Man United and Chelsea. And for him, he went ahead and obviously offered something totally different. And this is what I call diversion, like dilemma. He told us that both Man United and Chelsea have shown interest in the player and are ready to bid, but Arsenal and Arteta have made their position clear. He's not for sale. Ultimately, it will be up to Miles Lewis Skelly to decide whether he wants to stay at Arsenal and fight for his place or push for a move to Old Trafford or Stamford Bridge. Have you heard it out loud? It's up to Miles Lewis Skelly. Arteta is saying he's not for sale. Now, let me tell you, the club is playing mind games. That is it. There is no way Man United will be like they've offered Miles Skelly to them when they haven't, because even when he was not getting ample playing time, he was linked to Man United, and the story where United are considering a Miles Lewis Skelly to come and play for them. Now, they are coming out. They came out and said, when he got in some minutes, that United don't think they'll get in Miles Lewis Skelly. Now, preseason has gone on. Skelly has been played in the Community Shield. Now, after getting in Bruno Guimaraes, everything went ahead to change. We get this story that he has been offered to the club of Man United through intermediaries. That is it. So, Man United has gone ahead to bring in Baleba anytime. Miles Lewis Skelly, I think he enjoys more playing as a midfielder than a left back. And I do believe that he looks better as a midfielder than a left back. He put out a very brilliant assist against the team known as Man City. And Carafiero went ahead to score the opener in 25 seconds of the game. Brilliant performance by Miles Lewis Skelly. Now, it's a dilemma. Does Arsenal want to keep Miles Lewis Skelly? I told my people down on my other channel where I speak my local language that the game of Coventry is going to be very important, and the game of Aston Villa. Because the game of Coventry is going to be played on Friday. Aston Villa, 31st. I think that is the next weekend. What does that mean? It means that a club known as Arsenal, if they want to keep Miles Lewis Skelly, he'll be in the starting 11 of Coventry. If you see Miles Lewis Skelly benched by Mikel Arteta for the game of Coventry and the game of Aston Villa, get to know he's out of the plans of Mikel Arteta. And the stories of offering him to Man United and Chelsea are very right. Because if you want to show Miles Lewis Skelly that you want to keep him, you have to play him these 2 games before the summer transfer window closes. And those 2 games are Coventry and Aston Villa. After playing him in those 2 games, then you'll come out and really say that, indeed, it's really the big deal. And they've shown him trust that he can start ahead of Rice. Even if you don't want him to be a starter and you want him to be at your club, that's what you do as Mikel Arteta. That is it. That's what you do as Mikel Arteta. So, I don't know who is right and who is wrong. Because David Austin, top. He's on the top with Fabrizio Romano bringing stories that are really elite. Now, we get to Laurie Whitwell, correspondent for Man United, being briefed by the people at the club of Man United. And he has always gotten everything right. And he can never put out something that he has not gone ahead, obviously getting through from the club of money, because when they blacklist him, his job is over. Meaning that for every news he hears, before he comes out to utter any word, he has to contact the media people at the club that, is it really true? And on this occasion, they've told him that indeed, it's true. He has been offered to the club of Manchester United. You understand? So, that's exactly what you're really having in here. Onto the Rokani Media Football. So I don't know which is which and what is what, but they are coming from the same media house and they are contradicting. I don't know why. Arsenal fans tell me. But I've given you the ultimatum. If you see this guy start the game of Coventry, that will be a clear indicator that Arteta wants him not to even think of leaving Arsenal in the remaining days of the summer transfer window. Game of Aston Villa, if they start him, very clear that he is not for sale. If you don't see him start in any of those games, it will be a clear message outside there that the manager wants him out. Thank you very much. Now, that's all about Miles Lewis Skelly. And I have something special about this. Now, I'm not going to bring Rio Ferdinand in this because he's like, United should pay 60 to 70 million pounds for this guy. And I've just gone ahead to tell people at my channel that when Arsenal was strengthening their left back, they went ahead and spent almost 70 million pounds on Carafiori and Hincapie, like I think 78 million pounds to bring in these two players. Right? Why should United pay Arsenal 70 for Miles Lewis Skelly? Yet they can also go through the same and get in players that can do the job at the price of 30, 40 million pounds. So, I cannot pay 70 for Miles Lewis Skelly if at all I'm Manchester United. Because 70 million pounds in the left back business means you are getting in a Nuno Mendes. You are getting in a Ricardo Carafiori. You are getting in a Cucurella. You are getting in Alfonso Davies. An elite left back. So, I cannot go in for 70 million pounds. Nara. But it's up to the Glazers. After Matteo Ruggeri, also Zion Suzuki has been announced as a new Aston Villa player. Deal done at 30 million euros plus 35 million plus 5 million euros of add-ons from Parma. Up next is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, Aston Villa are really strengthening themselves. And I tell you, there is no way, if at all I'm Unai Emery, I leave the side of Aston Villa. I tell you, however much they keep selling players, they've gone ahead to support the manager. That's why his team doesn't fall off. When it fell off, it played in the UEFA Europa League. They are back in the Champions League, and now they have a new goalkeeper. They have Ruggeri. They do have Alejandro Garnacho. Now they've gone ahead to bring in Aaron Wan-Bissaka because Aaron Wan-Bissaka has gone ahead to come in through as a replacement for Ezri Konsa, who is obviously going to be playing for Arsenal. He said his goodbyes and his medical has been booked. And after his medical getting booked, obviously, the here we go of Bissaka had already came out, meaning that Konsa is obviously going to be coming in through the club of Arsenal. And if Aston Villa has Bissaka as the right back, it's really going to be hard to beat. They've brought in Rokani. If you see Rokani play, he's a decent left back. Have you seen Rokani play? Have you seen Matteo Rokani play? You will get to know why he was brought in through at Aston Villa. I think, to me, he's more decent than Digne, who left. He's good on the ball. And he has a perfect cross on him. And he's more of a traditional left back, you know. And he runs towards the byline to put in that cross. Defends very well. Skips past players. And I think he even has some cutbacks on him. He's a very decent player. So they obviously going to be another hard team. And Konsa, on the 31st of this month, will have a chance to obviously go back to a stadium that obviously saw him brought here. Because he was brought here when he was 21 years of age from Brentford, and I think they paid, is it 12 million pounds, and they brought him in. That is it. Now, Benfica, after the deal of Palhinha to Aston Villa, saw the bid rejected by Bayern Munich, Benfica are pushing to get João Palhinha. Negotiations club to club now underway as Benfica want to find a way if Palhinha does not end up in the Premier League. Now, I think Aston Villa, with the profit they've gone ahead to make, I think they would have gone ahead to obviously put in a very huge shift to get in this guy. That is it. And when they get in this guy, all will be well. Their midfield, at least, proper replacement for this guy. Because if you've lost Tielemans, you need to get in a replacement. And I think he's a perfect replacement for Yuri Tielemans. That is it. Huge experience and so on and so forth. And would like to be playing in the Champions League. So, your thoughts on to Lewis Skelly Arsenal exit dilemma arises. What do you make about it? Then you can tell me exactly about Aston Villa and their signings of bringing through. Obviously, there is a player who goes by the names of Suzuki in. And do you think Aston Villa have gone ahead to replace well Ezri Konsa because it's Aaron Wan-Bissaka coming in through? And lastly, what do you talk about? What do you talk about the deal of Palhinha to Benfica? Should Aston Villa pay what Bayern Munich wants, or they should not do so? All that and more into the comment section below. Rokani David remains my name. And I think this is the last video of the day, unless otherwise a breaking story arises. But tomorrow, that's when I'm going to be dropping my video on my top 6 favorites in the Premier League. I know many of you are really waiting for it, but I'm obviously going to be dropping it onto this beautiful channel. I sign out. See you later, and bye-bye. Good night.